Curse of the Black Nig. London, 1883. The sky was a slate of ash. The rain fell in whispers, and the lamplights flickered like dying stars. In the narrow alleys of Whitechapel, children no longer played after sunset. Not since the stories returned. Stories of a man clad in black iron, with eyes that glowed red through the mist, riding a horse that made no sound. They called him the Black Knight, but he was not always a shadow. Once, he was Sir Alaric Dorn, a nobleman, a war hero, and heir to the great house of Dorn, until he crossed the path of the Elderglen, which, deep in the forests of Arctemere. On the eve of his wedding, Alaric led a battalion into the woods, seeking out the witch believed to be behind the mysterious deaths of children in nearby villages. He returned alone, changed. They say he emerged from the forest with blood on his sword and a mark on his chest, a black sigil shaped like a raven devouring the moon. His bride died the next morning without a wound. His father went mad. His lands withered, and Alaric vanished. Chapter 2. The Return. 40 years passed. The Victorian world changed. Gas lamps replaced torches. Trains thundered through cities, and science mocked superstition. Yet, in the quiet corners of England, tales still whispered of the Black Knight, always arriving where sorrow brewed, always vanishing before dawn. But in the winter of 1883, he returned to London, not to bring death, but perhaps to end the curse. A young woman named Evelyn Marlowe, an orphan raised in the dark corridors of the Ashcroft Asylum, began painting visions of a knight cloaked in shadows. Her hands moved before her mind. She saw his eyes in her dreams. She knew his name before she ever heard it. And one night he came. He stood outside her window, unmoving, while thunder cracked behind him. She opened the glass, not with fear, but familiarity. "You called me," he said, his voice like old iron. "I didn't mean to, but you dreamed of me. That is enough." Chapter 3. The Witch's Bargain. Evelyn learned the truth. The Black Knight was not merely cursed, he was a vessel. The Elderglen which had bound him to her power, making him her eternal hunter. Every soul he took in darkness fed her magic. Every sorrow he carried nourished her. But Evelyn was different. She was born on the night he was cursed. She carried a shard of the witch's power and the potential to undo it. Together, they sought the last surviving ruins of Elderglen Hollow, hidden beyond maps, guarded by beasts that could only be seen through candlelight and heard only during rainfall. Their journey was long and filled with horrors. Whispering crows, trees that bled when touched, mirrors that showed your future, but only if it would end in death. But Alaric never faltered, because for the first time he felt again. And Evelyn, she was no longer afraid. Chapter 4. The Final Eclipse. At the heart of Elderglen Hollow stood a crumbling tower, wrapped in thorns, humming with ancient power. The witch, ageless and blind, waited there, bound by her own magic, waiting to consume Evelyn and complete her immortality. But Evelyn had seen her end in a mirror. She had one chance to sacrifice herself, shatter the link, and end the curse. Alaric begged her to leave. "You have light," he said. "You have years ahead of you." She smiled. "So did you once." And she walked into the flame. Chapter 5. A New Dawn. The sigil on Alaric's chest burned. The armor cracked. The black mist bled from him like a dying storm. And for the first time in 40 years, he saw the sunrise. The witch was gone. The hollow crumbled. Evelyn's body was never found. Only a small painting of the night with golden light behind him. Now, some say the Black Knight still rides, but no longer in sorrow. He protects those who walk alone at night. He guards the forgotten, the voiceless, the unloved. And in dreams, children sometimes see a woman in white, holding a candle, whispering, "He is free now. Sleep, little one. The shadows are watching over you."